So did you want me to take that?
This is my vision of a religious person. You can tell by the look in his eyes and the pile of gold behind him. I've got the hands sticking up over here, almost 2 fingers. And Roman numeral 5 made out of American Express cards. And the captain says, still about great.
And what's the name of the card?
Hierophant.
That's hilarious. Like playing spoons.
And here is a closer picture.
So this is my Hierophant card. So if nothing else, I've learned how to say the word tonight. And I picture him as a benevolent but yet powerful person who helps people connect to God. And he has his two helpers over here, this doggy and that doggy. And he's supported by this telephone booth here. And he's apparently super mensch. And yeah, that about sums him up.
Okay, so my card is based more in my own spiritual tradition, which is the fairy tradition of witchcraft, F-E-R-I. This is Thorncoil, who's a teacher in the tradition. I don't know if she'll like being the Hierophant, but she is. So I'll send it to her and say, here you are. She's wearing the crown, which, I mean, there's a crown in the traditional card, but this is also, to me, like connection to God. So it's all big and fiery. And we make kala a lot, so you're shifting energy with water, washing away your sins. And she has her 2 people down here, but I like it that they're looking at each other instead of at her. Like, we're all learning from each other. Go ahead and teach us if you want, but we're learning from each other. Got the 2 towers on the sides, and we work a lot with the triple soul, so we've got those represented here. And she's got her hands up in the benediction. You can barely see it right there. And I'm loving it that this wound up on there, because there's a thing going on within our tradition right now where things are breaking up about it getting too commercial. And she has written a couple of books, so there's this barcode on there. Like, have we gone too far with greed? Yeah. What's that? Oh, and the red.
So this is my Hierophant, and on the outside of the traditional card there's gray and there's kind of some pillars, and I use the gray pillars instead. I'm using these kind of women that are kind of closeted and you know, covered, but a lot of the it's a neat image because the writing has in their covering, there's writings and mysteries, and so it's not what it seems. So even though it's traditional and kind of oppressed, which can be one of the meanings of the Hierophant, it's traditional and it's repressed, but it's not. There's the energy and the mysteries are leaking through. And I wrote on the bottom the last word because the Hierophant is higher, the crown is higher on the Hierophant than on the Emperor, so she's kind of the last word. And I made it a female. And even though she's a little bit esoteric, I still found her a nice match for the Hierophant because she's somebody that I would follow. If she was a spiritual leader, I would follow her. I have the triangle, but instead of the triangle being with the 2 points on the bottom with the acolytes, and then the Hierophant, it's inverted, so things are not what they seem, and there's kind of some reversal going on here. Yet there's a circle, and some of the astrology signs are behind her. And it seems to kind of bring a lot of different mysteries together and kind of show their common truths, which is, I think, what a spiritual leader should do. And the longest home run ever, I like that because a spiritual journey and growing and knowing the spiritual path is not a quick one-day event. You know, it's not a one-day workshop. It's the longest home run ever. And I still want to do some work in here. I just didn't find the perfect picture yet. The back is a poem that was given out. This is a flyer actually from St. Paul's Church, and this was next to September. It was next to the Twin Towers on September 11th, when the Twin Towers fell, this is only a couple blocks away, nothing happened to this church. And so it was a place of refuge, and it was just awesome. So I'm going to read the first part of this poem. St. Paul's Chapel. It stood, not a window broken, not a stone dislodged. It stood when nothing else did. It stood when terrorists brought September down. It stood among myths. It stood among ruins. And I kind of like that part of the Hierophant. You know, it's tradition. It's the good part of tradition. And so that's what she is.
So this is my Hierophant card. I decided to go with a more, I guess, spiritual, as opposed to representing the Hierophant as a, you know, corrupt leader. So I have the little person meditating here with all the chakras balanced, because I feel like, you know, if you're connected to divine source, like, you'd have to be a pretty balanced person. And then I have a little key, you know, to I guess unlock the, you know, mysteries. And then this I thought was interesting because it has the little lotus flower, and then it has all the different symbols for different religions. Because I really feel like, you know, there's not one right way to be connected to divine source, and I think that it's all valid and everybody's connected, and it's just, you know, whichever speaks to you, you know, with your culture and all that. So I thought that was kind of neat. And then I have the words connection. And of course I have glitter on it because all my cards have glitter. That's it.